Good, happy Monday morning. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast. Let's get started. First up, Chesterfield native wins gold medal with U.S. rowing Olympic team. Chesterfield's own Tessa Gobbo began rowing 10 years ago and has been dreaming of the podium ever since. The 25-year-old rower and her team took the gold medal on their race by beating Great Britain on Saturday. Despite our 4 Olympic swimmers being robbed at gunpoint, she said she has had a very safe experience in Rio so far. As for the water, Tessa Gobbo said it's been fine. Manchester homes damaged by storm. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9.
Is there any way you can get an oil change today?
Without an appointment? Try in like 2 weeks.
There has to be an easier way.
Come to Auto Fair Honda, home of the $17.95 oil change.
I don't have an appointment today. Is there any way I can get an oil change?
Of course. We'll have you out of here in 39 minutes or less. Works free.
Servicing your vehicle is fast and easy at Auto Fair Honda. Call or book your appointment online at autofairhonda.com.
Auto Fair makes it happen.
You know, neighbors say that they've actually periodically seen lightning strike these scoreboards here at the baseball field on Mammoth Road, but they've never actually seen the lightning strike a house. But that's exactly what happened last night. Brilliant displays of lightning lit up the summer night sky as viewers from around the state sent in video of the dramatic display. But for the Tran family in Manchester, it could have been disastrous. Their neighbor heard a loud bang and then discovered that a small fire had started on the back side of their house. He called 911 as the family rushed to put out the fire themselves.
It's amazing that it hit just that one spot and that it cooked, but the oil tank is right there, so it could have caused a lot of problems and it could have gone up into the structure. So thankfully the fire department got here quickly.
The Tran family escaped more serious damage, and so did the Rodriguez family on Country Walk Drive. At around 4 a.m., a red oak tree fell onto their house. Luckily, the damage was mostly to the deck.
Obviously, at 4 a.m., everybody was asleep, and we thought initially there was an earthquake because the whole house started rumbling. It's just wood. I mean, deck can be replaced, so nobody got hurt, and so we feel pretty fortunate about that.
Fortunate enough to have a little humor about the situation as well. The family says the neighborhood has been around since 1999, and it's something they've never seen. So many people have actually come by to check it out.
Now I'm thinking we ought to just make a table out of it, and so we'll have a conversation piece, when people come over. I think that'd be great.
Well, they were lucky enough not to have to call the fire department, but many others did. Manchester Fire Department tells us that they fielded about a dozen calls between 8 and 10 o'clock last night. Many of them were just tripped alarms, so fortunate for that. Now, they also say that because there was no wind, it actually made the problem less than it could have been last night. So lucky that everyone is certainly okay. We're live in Manchester. Naoko Funayama, WMUR News 9.
There you go on that report. Investigators shifting through hundreds of tips 1 week after Joggers Murder. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News.
Is there any way you can get an oil change today?
Without an appointment? Try in like 2 weeks.
There has to be an easier way.
Come to Auto Fair Honda, home of the $17.95 oil change.
I don't have an appointment today. Is there any way I can get an oil change?
Of course. We'll have you out of here in 39 minutes or less. Works free.
Servicing your vehicle is fast and easy at AutoFair Honda. Call or book your appointment online at autofairhonda.com.
AutoFair makes it happen.
Now a vigil is underway in Princeton, Massachusetts to honor the New York woman killed while out on a jog 1 week ago today. 27-year-old Vanessa Marcotte was visiting her mother, went out for that jog, and never returned. State police told our sister station that her body was found naked and burned. Investigators so far have received more than 600 tips. Within the next half hour, a 3-mile group run will begin in her memory, and everyone that's participating is asked to bring balloons so that they can be released at the end.
A scary story there.
Very scary. Nice to honor her, though, today.
There you go on that report. Milwaukee unrest continues through second night. One person reported shot. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Next to Milwaukee, the National Guard called in after simmering tensions between police and residents boiled over. Take a look at this. Businesses and police cars set on fire, protesters hurling rocks at officers, and at least one of those protesters opening fire after police shot and killed a 23-year-old black man they say was armed. Tonight, authorities revealing new details about the threat they say Milwaukee officers are now facing. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is in Milwaukee tonight.
Tonight, the National Guard on alert after a night of chaos. Cars and businesses set on fire as tensions boil over. The angry crowd protesting the deadly police shooting of an allegedly armed black man killed after a traffic stop.
This is the police. Leave the area.
As people ran for cover through smoke-filled mayhem, sounds of gunfire, the crowd targeting police.
Shot fired, shot fired. There's injured officers here. So many rocks gone.
This police car destroyed. Another up in flames. A gas station, an auto parts store, and a bank, 6 businesses in all, torched. It was 3:30 p.m. Police making a traffic stop, and the 23-year-old suspect, now being identified as Seville Smith, was armed. According to authorities, he fled on foot. An officer who was also black ordered him to drop his weapon, and when he didn't comply, fired several rounds, killing Smith. The officer was wearing a body camera.
He had a gun in his hand.
The gun at the scene that we are recovering was stolen in a burglary along with 500 rounds of ammunition.
This man said he was Smith's brother.
It's not going to end today. I can't tell you it's going to end tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to end. But it's for y'all to start. We're not the ones that's killing us. Y'all killing us.
Tonight, the shell of destruction visible. Businesses destroyed. 17 arrested, 4 officers hurt, a 16-year-old girl hit by a bullet in the chaos.
Tom, authorities have not yet released the footage from that officer's body camera, and tonight are hoping there is not a repeat of last night's violence. Tom?
Okay, and there you go on that report. Donald Trump struggles to stay on message. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
We're only halfway through August, and it's fair to say the GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump is in a full summer slide. Time magazine went so far as calling it a meltdown. And this morning, the New York Times reports that Mr. Trump's advisors believe he is nearly out of time to write his campaign. And our latest ABC News presidential race ratings show a grim picture for Trump based on voting history. And the latest head-to-head polling, the electoral map now strongly favors Clinton, with 22 states either solid or leaning Democratic, which would give her 275 electoral votes if the election were held today, enough to win the White House. And while ordinarily we'd say it's just August, at some point the question becomes all too real. Has Trump's campaign passed the point of no return?
At the heart of Donald Trump's slide, his inability to stay on message. Trump started the week with a focus on the economy.
I want to jumpstart America, and it can be done, and it won't even be that hard.
But then this.
If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know.
And this.
He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder.
And suddenly Trump's week was again overshadowed by his shoot from the lip style. Trump blamed the media, saying his ISIS comments were merely sarcastic, but then once again went off message.
Obviously being sarcastic. Then, but not that sarcastic, to be honest with you.
Whether you call them gaffes or jokes, the cumulative effect is now causing panic both inside and outside his campaign. Maine's Susan Collins.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday. See you back here later on. Goodbye, everyone.